Morning, Terry.
Wow, I needed a passcode this time.
I know, I think, well, we have an incredible new employee, Shannon. And this is her first round through our meetings. So I actually made a note to follow up with her because the only way to know how this works is to do it. So, and I'm actually concerned maybe that's why we don't have Dina and Lucy yet.
Well, Dina was not going to be here.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Okay. She must be out of town or something because I didn't get the treasurer's report either. Okay. Well, I think we should just go ahead and start. And if folks could just watch their cell phones for a text or a phone call from Lucy.
Yep.
Thank you.
So we're starting at 9:32.
Thank you. So minutes from October 11th? I didn't have any comments. They're terrific. Thank you.
Okay,
Bob?
Bob.
No, yeah, I'm good with those. Yeah.
Okay.
Good job on them.
So
Thank
can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move we approve the minutes, public and executive meetings.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you. Treasurer's report for November we don't have, so we'll just do that at our next meeting in December. And for new business, an update on the silent fund. So I distributed the letter that went out. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Well, I sent out a second reminder letter yesterday and checked in with Bonnie. Only one person had responded so far, so I think the reminder will get people moving. I also corresponded with Carrie LaFleur about getting on the trustees of donations agenda for November. They are meeting in November, but there wasn't a date yet. Carrie will let me know.
Okay.
Get the funds to be distributed in early December. So.
Now, what's the purpose, Catherine, trying to get funds through the trustees?
We get about 10 or 12,000, I think it's somewhere around 10,000 last year for this holiday gift program. We have about 4,000, I think, in the treasurer in our silent fund funding.
Okay.
We will need probably 12,000 or something to distribute, 12 or maybe a little more. Again, Bonnie will know when she gets the input from all of the people who recommend families.
Well, the closing date, I think, was the 18th of November. Is that right?
Yes, that's when she should have, people should have.
All of them.
And then she'll get back to me the next week and I'll total up and see sort of what we need. And then we will do the actual distribution in early December.
Okay.
If I remember last year, this is pretty typical. When the letter goes out, when you get responses. So it's nothing to.
She wasn't worried.
Yeah.
Glad a reminder was going out, but not. And I put that in the mail yesterday.
Great, thank you. So I have next the review of the draft of the annual report. All I did was look at last year's, create a Word doc and put in blanks everywhere that I'll need to get information from, well, probably from Dina, perhaps some from Shannon. But I just wanted sort of the body of the report to be reviewed now because it will get submitted shortly after our December meeting. And at the December meeting, I'll have all the numbers in there. So if folks had a chance to go over it, I actually had a couple notes myself this morning in another review of it, but did anybody have anything they wanted me to make changes to?
No, I looked at it, and there was one, I can't find it now. There was one thing, like the total from last year. Something about this is based on is it the calendar year? I've forgotten now.
That's
Yeah.
actually, that's an outstanding question I also have, Bob, because if we submit it in December, we don't have December's numbers.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna figure out if that's a November to November number that is being entered there, like a 12 months, or if it's a 2022. And I guess that'll have to do with the deadline for submitting it. If the deadline is in
Right.
January, I feel like it's December, just from the calendar that Judy gave me of the Hugh Cargill stuff. I know things we do each year.
Mhm.
So I will also figure that out. Thank you.
okay.
So the couple notes I made were in the first paragraph where it says established over 213 years ago. I think it would be better to just say over 200 years ago, because then I don't have to change the year every year, the number of years. Okay, great. Thank you. And then in the, I guess, the third paragraph, it said Hugh Cargill Trust was received as a result of the 2021 annual appeal. I think we also want to add "and in other donations," an amount of the other donations we received, because we received them from not just the annual appeal. So that number would get entered in that paragraph.
Okay,
There's a very minor typo, 2 paragraphs down, committee "and" is one word, I'll add a space.
mhm.
Under tax relief fund, the next paragraph, I made a note to change the HCTC
Bob
is, oh, we lost Bob.
And that's would be his.
Okay. All right, we need to wait, because there's
Here he
just 2 of us today. Hi, Bob.
I'm back.
Oh, Lucy's calling me. Hold on. Hi, Lucy. Okay. Lucy's computer is telling her she has to update Zoom. And so she's trying to go through that process, but she's also going to consider trying on her cell phone or just being a call-in attendee. So
Okay.
hopefully she'll catch up with us. And so far, I think we can keep going without her for now. This appeal letters, we're going to be looking at it again at our next meeting anyway. This is like a draft, so.
Okay,
So under tax relief fund, that paragraph, I had the HCTC is designated by the select board. And then under silent fund,
What do you, listen,
sorry.
I got cut. Where are you now? I got cut
Oh,
out.
yes.
You know, and
I'm in, yeah, we saw that. I'm in the, oh, here's Lucy connecting by, oh, awesome. Wait, I'm gonna wait for Lucy to pop in.
okay.
We're at the paragraph tax relief fund.
Is this the write-up for the website?
Oh, no, we're still on the annual appeal, I mean, the draft for the annual report. Hi, Lucy.
Oh,
I'm on my phone. That's the only way I could get in today. I don't know why.
Thank you. Glad
Yeah.
you're here. We're looking at the review, we're reviewing the draft of the annual report.
Okay,
And I was just telling the members of the committee, I just looked at last year's, created a Word doc and put all these blanks for the numbers that I hope to get from Dina and Shannon.
okay.
And then we're going through if there's any things that you all would like me to make changes to this report.
When is it due?
I think it's due the end of December.
Okay,
But we did discuss that if the deadline, so Judy gave me a calendar of our responsibilities, the committee's responsibilities. And she had it for December, but we chatted this morning about wanting to have all of 2022's numbers. So if the deadline for submitting is in January, then we'll be able to do it as a full year of data. And otherwise we might do it as a last 12 months, like a November to November.
okay,
But we will have another chance to see this report at our next meeting.
good.
So okay, so I had two other minor changes, couple minor changes. Under tax relief fund, instead of the HCTC has been designated, I just said is designated. Silent fund 2017, that's the next paragraph. I wondered if people thought we should add the number of Concord residents that received silent fund, or if that's something that's actually we don't mention. I don't know the answer to that question, so I thought maybe someone else had it.
Well, I will have, I mean, the holiday gift one is a long, is a lot of families. I don't know what the camperships were, but we could probably find out how we could.
Okay, yeah, if you could get that number, if you could get that number, I think it'd be, I would really like to be able to say how many Concord residents we're supporting through the silent fund.
Yep.
And then the next paragraph, I just thought we should add the libraries. And if there were any other places where we are telling citizens about our committee, our funds, we should put them in that paragraph, and libraries was the only one that came to mind for me.
Mhm.
How about the schools, who is it in the schools? You know, not the nurse, but the,
social,
yeah,
Guidance
What do you call it?
counselors, social
guidance
workers.
council, yeah.
I think you could add the schools.
I'd put schools and then they can figure out where they want to put it. But I think we should definitely, because actually one of the referrals we had this month was from a school.
Oh, great. Okay. I added the Concord Bridge,
Yeah,
Mhm.
good.
which, by the way, I'm really enjoying receiving that each week.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
wonderful.
It is wonderful. It's a big
Pretty,
job.
pretty soon we can delete the Concord Journal, can't we, from the list? They'll just have vanished totally.
Maybe. As long as they're around, we're gonna keep.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have something about Hugh Cargill in the journal, right? Okay, awesome. That's actually, it goes to a wider audience than our town, not that that we receive a lot of donations from folks that are not in town, but it happens occasionally. Okay, so,
We have another thought. It may be too broad, but next door, because there are a lot of people who read that from Concord and other towns too, but it relates just to us, but we could post one time on there and Actually, some of our recipients are active on Nextdoor. So,
Next,
So I'm gonna add that to our discussion on updating our community communications.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it should go in the annual report because we aren't doing it
no,
yet.
oh,
Okay,
no, I
great.
know. I just was thinking that that's one of our avenues for
Great.
outreach.
Any other comments? And I'll update. I'll also add draft at the top, which I forgot to do. Okay. So the draft letter for the annual appeal. I got it from Dinny. I sent it, I think I sent it all to you in advance, but I certainly attached it to the email from yesterday. Bob and I met with Dinny 2 weeks ago, and she updated the letter to include thanking the generosity of prior donors and especially last year's appeal. And we added that the number of recipients that were helped by the incredible donations from last year. I didn't have any comments to get back to Dinny about the letter. I thought it was great. Did anybody else want to have wanted me to get back to her with comments?
I think it's a very enthusiastic, nice, thankful letter. I liked it. It's
Me
very
too.
friendly and very not off-putting at all. It was very encouraging of people's thoughts about our citizenry in need.
Yep, me too.
I think they haven't had a meeting yet, right? The tax relief. It was only Denny with us.
That's
I don't
right.
know.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had, yep.
So I think, I don't know, usually, I mean, for the last year or two, they've met with the members of the committee as well. And I guess final approval would be between us and them in the tax relief committee.
I think we could probably go ahead and approve the letter in our meeting
Yeah.
today. That way, if they also, we can then go ahead and get this out. Denny said that it's not going to be the huge mailing that we did last year. We aren't doing that every year. And Bob and I offered up ourselves and the committee members to help stuff envelopes and mail.
Good.
Yep, and Denny said she would get back to us with our stuff, our boxes of stuff.
Great.
It'll be on town letterhead, so it's not on it now, but it will be.
Perfect.
Okay. Oh, well, actually, do we vote on approving this letter, or do I just let her know that we like it?
I think the latter.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you. Okay, continuing business, the description for the website. This is really now final, and I just wanted everybody to let me know that we're good to go. And I can submit this to Shannon, to the town, our town administrative support, who's wonderful, in case any of you haven't met her yet. She's really terrific.
Yeah.
Mm.
I unfortunately, I was out last night and I didn't get to read it because it came so late. So I haven't had a chance to read it, but I'll go with all of you if you think it's just right.
Okay, I actually, go ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
I didn't have any comments.
Well, I had one really small one because I can't help it. Under policy, we had talked about the disbursement of all the funds, and we had changed the language to have that the committee would maintain a reserve for administrative expenses and a reasonable balance. but the first line of that section still says the policy of the committee shall be to disperse all funds to Concord residents. And so I had that one tiny thing to cross out the word all.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, great. Well, then I think I will send it, I'll make that one minor change. I'll take away the word draft and I'll add revised November 8th, and I'll send that off to Shannon. Update on the HCT and tax relief appeal. Oh, well, we already chatted about that. I'll circle back with Denny about the letter and ask her the timeline for sending out and how we can support her in the process. Member terms and an update on the contact list.
I've sort of been shepherding that. And I have gotten I think I sent around the little table that Lori Austin had put out. And I think everybody's pretty much up to date. You know, I think so I think we're in pretty good shape there.
I just located my certificate of appointment from just September 10th, 2018. So I've got it all put together here. I've got everything.
I don't think we have Dina's actual, her term ends in 2023, but I think there was still a little, we still need to get to her about that.
There was still, she had to do some, I've forgotten, like read something or, you know, signed, but I think her term was this, I think we've actually, you know, finalized.
Can you follow up with Dina and just make sure she hasn't been at the meeting for a couple sessions and
Yeah, okay. I'll check with Lori as well, see what anything.
okay, thank you.
When we make decisions today at our executive session and feed them into Dina, I would like, I hope she's coming in December, because before then, I would like to go through the whole list with her and make sure it's all accurate. There are changes in that list. And so anyway, is she going to prepare a December list for us? She didn't do one for November, correct?
No, we don't have the November one.
Okay.
The December one will be for November, right?
Right, but I'd like to really update it carefully with her. So I'm just hoping that she's going to be at that meeting, and you know, we can work together before our next meeting.
Lucy, do you want
I'll
to?
follow up with her.
Yeah, that would be great, just so we
Yeah.
know we're ready for next month.
Right, okay.
Thank you. Okay, so update on community communication, new ways to encourage requests for assistance, and then we had examples of ways we were going to consider. I added Nextdoor app here from Lucy's suggestion. And Catherine wrote up the one for the libraries.
I wondered if anyone had any comments on that. I just took it from the town, mostly the wording is from the town website about what the Hugh Cargill Trust does. Lucy, I wanted to ask you, from this, it says calls are returned within 24 hours. Is that something that I should have on there?
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, yesterday the town phones were off. So for example, we got in a crisis last night with one of our recipients because she couldn't get a final answer on something. So I mean, they are returned. I return them, you know, I actually listen every single day. And
So should I say promptly?
yes,
Returned,
yeah, promptly.
So Lucy, do you also check the email, hctc@concordma.gov?
Every day, yep.
So
And
I
it
would-
ring, it dings on my telephone.
Okay, so I would add that here too. Call the phone number extension or email and then say inquiries are returned promptly.
Yeah, I think having the email is really important, hctc@concordma.gov. I get those all the time and
Yeah.
there's a ding, and so I follow up immediately. It's almost better than the phone, actually, because the phone system is still screwy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree.
Inquiries are returned promptly.
Now
Alright.
this, there's no number to text to, correct? This is all, it's not, we talked
They
with
don't,
briefly.
they don't text.
Okay,
Thank goodness.
okay, yeah. And then I just had one other minor thing because it's just old language. Instead of on behalf of the Board of Selectmen, it's on behalf of the Select Board.
Yeah,
There.
definitely.
What's the document you're on? I got cut off again.
It's the language Catherine put together for the libraries.
That's back.
Well,
Half page.
Oh,
Yeah, and I mean, this is language we can use in all the places that we are trying to promote more information about. Hugh Cargill.
okay. So what are you changing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Catherine, I'm sorry.
The changes that were, have been suggested is instead of Board of Selectmen, the Select Board. And then we're going to add the email address where people can send inquiries, and also that they're not returned within 24 hours. We will just say promptly. Inquiries are returned promptly.
Okay,
And you'll have the email address. So be sure and include school counselors in that list, because parents, they get their newsletters, but they may not respond or even read them. And some of them don't even speak English, but the counselors in the schools are very aware of children in need and families in need. And that's how often, Bonnie gets referrals and I get referrals.
So what are you referring?
Oh, the list update on community,
Okay.
community communication, new ways of encouraging requests. So those people are really critical. I don't know whether we call them school counselors. I'm not sure what they're called officially, but they know what's going on more than anybody.
Yep. So
Like school social worker. I guess that's what it would be. They would be school social worker.
I'll ask Bonnie
Okay.
what they are actually called. They may be different between the grade schools and the high school. So for this half page, should that be good to go? Do I need to bring it back to our group? Should I drop off a little pile at the libraries with the reference librarians?
Yeah, I think it looks fine. Looks great.
yeah. With-
Sorry,
What-
I was briefly muted. My dogs are loud. I think it's fine as well. I think it's great.
Okay.
Yeah, looks good. Now, you're just gonna put them like give them to someone in the library, Catherine, or?
There's a bulletin board in the main library. There's a bulletin board across from the bathrooms. And then I also thought I would talk to the reference librarians and leave a
Good.
small file there as well.
Okay,
Perfect.
Do we want to look at this list quickly to see other places that you could post it? For example, at the schools, is there a bulletin board there as well? Although that's not really, no, that's, I'm not sure.
It
So
could.
there's a long list here of other places. that we-
Yes,
Yep, to look into, and I think, Bob, you were chasing down some of these.
well, I was looking at I'm inquiring about the CMLP, but because to put it in there, and also, I haven't, there was also the real estate tax bill, that because something could be put in.
I think the other place it might go is churches have bulletin boards.
Good idea.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's
I'll note
good.
that too. Recreation Department.
I
Yeah,
don't,
like the
I don't know.
hunt gym or something.
Okay, so so I'm just a question back to you, Bob, on how we want to update this continuing business item. I'm adding Nextdoor app, school, social worker, churches, libraries, because those were not on here. And I'm wondering if well, actually, libraries.
Is on it.
I feel like we need a checklist where we can say we've done, these places. So libraries, we can check off and.
Well,
and
I
then-
think what I'm thinking is should, like, I can't do all of these places, so we need to assign people to, like, Catherine volunteered for the library. And other, maybe some other places.
I'll volunteer for CMLP because I work with them all the time. And I think the main thing is we're not asking to have an insert. We just like to have a line or two on the bills. So
Okay,
there are people in town who are eligible for reduced rates and everything, and they all get CMLP, but a lot of them don't ask for help and they need help. So that's a good place for it to appear, in my view,
Yeah.
because that's a monthly bill. So I'll
And-
talk to them.
Okay. I can follow up on the Concord Bridge.
okay. Maybe I should make a spreadsheet with the communications and would take the responsibility of each one, like.
That would be awesome. I think that'd be a great way for us to stay updated. Thank you.
I hope I can do it.
You can do it, Bob.
You can do
I
it.
can do it.
Thank you. And then the last on our agenda is the update on the tax relief.
We have a new applicant that should be approved. They'll mention it in our executive meeting, the new applicant, see if anybody has any issues so I will bring it up again in the executive session.
Thank you, Bob. I have a question, because I just don't, I'm still learning. For tax relief applicants, they can apply at any time and be added to the list at any time, correct? During the year, there's no deadline or
Well,
to be.
There is initially, we'll be drafting a new letter for fiscal 23, no, 24, I guess. And but during the year, now we've had people added on, but they've come on and we put them on in the quarter that they've applied. You know what I mean? The tax quarter.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that seems perfectly appropriate.
Yes, and that's what I was just a little confused because the letter sounds like there's a deadline, but then people are still encouraged and welcome to come to us.
Well, that's why Mike Gibbons and I were working on the letter to make it more like the one that goes on the website now should be sort of like a generic one.
Yes.
Without, and Shannon is going to do that. I've already talked with her, but it wasn't on there as of last week, but she said she was working through some editorial type things. So she's got a lot on her plate, I think.
She does, a lot to come up to speed. Okay, good. I think that's great to have that letter be more generic, so people don't.
But we'll still have the annual, we'll be approving that letter, maybe in February, of the new letter that's for the whole year, for the residents that are already on the list.
Right, that makes sense.
Yep. Okay. Anything else? That's our agenda. Maybe somebody missed, no one saw the section in new business. I had a note in there for myself on every agenda that I forgot to take away, which was check the HCTC calendar for upcoming tasks.
Oh,
So-
yes. Yeah.
That was supposed to be crossed out, but each month I do look at the calendar Judy gave me and make sure that we're doing the things we're supposed to be doing in the month we're supposed to be doing them.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
So,
for
yeah.
finding that in
I
advance.
think at the last meeting I had said I would email that calendar to everybody. I just haven't gotten around to creating a Word doc of it. I just have a paper version. So either I will get that Word doc created for everybody, or I'll just scan the paper that I have and send it around so everybody knows sort of what's on our plate as the year goes by.
Okay.
All right.
This is a very minor point, but it's helpful to have all our documents in Word. I know a lot of them are in Google, and I have trouble converting some documents, just refuse to, they just show up differently. And I don't want to have Google all over the page. So
I have the same, yes, thank you, Lucy. The same thing happens to me, not all Google Docs, but every now and then I can't
yes,
do anything. So, and I think the town has a lot of these as Word docs. But I don't know, I actually need to follow up with Shannon on whether so for the example, the annual report, I created a Word doc because I just dug out the old annual report and typed it in. But it would be good to have a template that Shannon maintains, so each year we can update it. But just, yes, in general, sending documents around to everybody, that they be a Word doc is easier.
yeah.
Catherine, your minutes, is that a Google, is that a Google? Or is that I mean, they look good to me.
I didn't
don't
want
know.
to say
Uh,
Catherine, but I knew that you were the Google lady.
Yeah, I'm,
I have no problem with them.
but yeah, but I'll maintain those.
Yeah, what I do with those, Catherine, is I open them and then I create a PDF. And then I save the PDF because I can't save the document to my computer. It saves a shortcut. And then when I try to send it to everybody in my email on Mondays, the shortcut won't send, it's just, anyway.
Okay.
A Word doc would be great, or a PDF is fine too, because we can read those easily.
Okay, then probably the PDF.
All right. All right. Well, I think we're all set then. Our next meeting is December 13. And if everybody's ready, we can go over to the executive session. So Lucy,
I think,
go ahead.
I think we have to officially close the
Yeah,
meeting.
on motion made and seconded, the meeting was adjourned at, okay, so make a motion.
I move that we adjourn the meeting from open session or executive session for the purpose of discussing individuals or families seeking assistance, this disclosure of which would be a violation of privacy.
Second.
Second,
All in
All
favor?
I.
Aye. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for everything you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Terry.